Hi, everybody. Welcome. How are you guys doing? Let me make sure I go ahead and share this on my page. Waiting for people to get on. But you have tuned in to Reflections. The Being One podcast presents Reflections. Reflections is literally a live. We go live every first and third Saturday of the month. And it's just a time that we can reflect with friends. So if you follow me on the Being One podcast, so I have that podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all of that. So if you follow the podcast, then you know, like I teach y'all, you know, sometimes I be preaching to y'all. But the reflections page and the conversations that we have just allows you guys to just be able to like just talk. You know what I mean? I'm always like teaching y'all. It's always just y'all hearing me, but this time we get to hear each other. And so that's why we have reflections. So today we're just checking in. We're just going to talk. It's been a lot going on in the world, a lot going on from even the last conversation we had, which was talking about This Is America and, you know, just talking about police brutality, the injustices that Black Americans face in this world. And today we just want to check in. We want to know how y'all doing. I want to know how the friends are doing. So, you know, y'all go ahead and make sure y'all be quick with the comments. And if it's ever a time that you feel like you want to say something or give or make an input, just like message me and I'll give you my number and you could say it live if that makes sense. Because I just want to make sure that everybody's being heard. And if you feel so strongly you have something to say that's going to add value to the conversation, then we definitely want to hear it. So don't be shy to comment. Don't be shy to say what's on your chest. All right, without further ado, let me go ahead and add in the friends. Let's see.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, you guys. I just left a protest, so I am not looking the best right now, but praise the Lord, we are here today.
So you look good. Yes. Okay, let me go ahead.
Hey.
How are you?
How are you?
Good.
I'm good. I can't hear anything you're saying, so I'm trying to read your lips. Hold on, it might be me. So I think I'm gonna come back out and we'll try it again.
All right, let's get Jasmine. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, y'all. I can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
You can hear?
Okay, we good. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I can't see you though. That's the thing.
Not today.
You can't see though, Jess.
You can't see me?
No.
I can see her. All right, we're gonna try.
Okay, continue going. If you can see her, that's fine.
Oh, you can see her.
You
can't see her.
I couldn't see her.
Frozen. We'll give it. We're gonna just talk among us, and we're gonna let them get it together. But talk to us. How was the protest today?
So in Jacksonville, we protested today at the city hall. It was phenomenal. So I mean, last week I was involved. My friend Nia organized one, like a driving parade for George Floyd. This week, so this is my first time actually marching and protesting on ground and besides a car. And I tell you, it was amazing. It rained, but we were out there in the rain. We didn't care. Shout out to the people who had water bottles and snacks on every street, giving it out to all the protesters. It was amazing. This protest is so many going on in Jacksonville today, but this specific protest was for a lot of the Jacksonville like Black men who have been killed by JSO. So not only are we fighting for George Floyd and Breonna and so many people, Ahmaud, but we're also fighting local too, whose names never became a hashtag. And so it was just incredible to be surrounded by so many protesters, peaceful. You have some people who try to rowdy it up, and we was like, no,
Right.
you know, calm that down, you know. Right. But it was so phenomenal to be out there, and I'm like, when the next one? I'm waiting on the next one, but.
I'm glad because how the media is trying to portray these protests are they're just like, oh, you know, the animals on the street, we're rioting, doing all this stuff. And it's like, man, yeah, there are going to be some people that are doing that, but not everybody's doing that. And at the end of the day, like there's still a message and a mission that we have that we're trying to get out. So I'm glad you guys had like a peaceful protest and, you know, still like, you know, I've heard people just saying like, oh wow, because it's just one black man or whatever the case is. It's just like, no, yeah, like, yeah, we're mad about what happened to him, but we're mad about what happened to all, you know, everybody.
Everyone.
And people that did not make a hashtag, the people that did not get on the media and things like that. Like we're going hard for all of them. Like this is built up. This has been built up, and we're striking.
Right.
Let me
Absolutely.
Jazz. Hey, Jazz.
Hey, I'm
You see-
here.
You see her?
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hey, Jazz. Jazz, you were at the protest today too, right?
I was. There was a protest in downtown Tampa, and it was powerful. It was a lot more people than the first protest that I've gone to. This is my third, so it was a lot more. Numbers are just adding, and it's powerful to see. Today we got rained out, like we got rained on, like full storm, like hard rain, and people were still talking, and people were still like their spirits were still high. So it was just so powerful to see that, like, they're like-minded people. I know I said that last week too, but I just hope that, you know, this is what the story, like, this is what people are seeing. I know there's a lot of craziness that's being shown and things like that, but this is what my view, and I've been to 3. And so I just feel like I really hope that people can see what we're trying to do, the movement first and foremost. So yeah, it was powerful. How about you? I know you were just talking about Tyra's with hers too. I'm so glad that so many different cities around the world, like in the United States, but also in the world, there's so many cities that are standing up right now. So that was powerful.
Hey, can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
All right, cool. We're good. Yes, now we can have conversation. So Lap, you was at protest too. How was it?
Yeah, me and Tyra went together. It was really nice. It was really cool to see so many different nationalities. You know, we saw Arabs, white people, Hispanics, literally all types of people, kids, elderly. We saw elderly. So it was just nice to see like so many people, thousands of people, literally on the same page. You know, like united. It was amazing.
It was a lot of kids out there.
Yeah.
Like kids or like our
There were babies.
It was babies,
3,
toddlers, 3, 4, and I'm like, man, I wish, you know, I never went to any protests as a kid, and so just how, you know how inspired they must feel, like kids,
right.
you know, but it was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I know, like, they probably have so much opinions and comments. Like, I can imagine, like, I teach 6th graders, and I already know, like, I can imagine the thoughts, the comments they have. There was like a group chat that we had, and one of them was mentioning like, oh, y'all still try to be happy, and one of them was just like, well, how can we be happy when the blacks are being lynched and this and this and this? And it's just like, man, like, you know, I'm glad that they're able, like, parents are bringing them out so they can like feel like they're a part of something rather than just watching it or seeing that it's just a bunch of like rioting, but that they can see like, man, like these people are really fighting for what they, you know, for justice, and that's what it is, fighting for justice, for real. So I'm glad they're able to experience that for real. So we're checking in. So how are y'all doing? Like the last talk we just literally had a talk last week. So how y'all feeling this week? Like what's up today?
I mean, it's still the same for me, but I definitely feel better. It was one day I was at work. It was earlier this week, and I got like so overwhelmed, and I'm like I'm finding myself acting kind of funny toward people that aren't black. And I'm like, wait a minute, like I gotta check that. So one day on my lunch break, I just went and talked to God, like just like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is why I feel this way. You know, I feel like you're not present, even though I know you are. Like, you know, give me what I need to stop having all this hate in my heart. And I think after having that talk, it kind of like put things in perspective to me. Like, it's not that moment, but like slowly but surely throughout the week, I found myself a lot more at peace because I was like really, really angry. Yeah.
I want to answer this question right quick. Phoebe. Hey, Phoebe.
Hey.
Would you guys bring your kids out to a protest?
I would. I think there's an age appropriate age for everything. I wouldn't bring, like, I saw like literally babies in like those strollers and stuff. I don't think I would, because if I gotta run and I gotta worry about a stroller, that's a whole nother story. But I would say, like, maybe as long as they understand what's going on and they're old enough to understand, like, we're out here and we fighting for this and this, and they're able to understand it. I would personally. I would do peaceful protests.
Yeah.
The thing about it, because I saw a picture and I saw a video of a young girl, she was like a Caucasian little girl, and she had got mace or gas, and like she was really burning, and that really broke my heart. And I was just like, why they bring this little girl out to this protest? You know what I mean? Because we have an idea that, this is peaceful protest, but things happen. So I guess I can understand why people ask, like, would you bring your kids out there?
But you see, Sam.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was saying, but you see how that becomes the first narrative of just like, don't bring kids, instead of like, who's holding the person that maced a child in the face accountable. And so for me, my answer to the question is yes as well. I think that there's a unity around children as well, like that I saw, like even today there was a little girl, she was leading the chants, but best believe everybody that was around her was protecting her if a police officer, because we're not going to do anything. We already know that. So if you're worried about the violence of a police officer or like the macing and the person that's bringing their child is not alone. I would have stepped in front of for that child. I would have expected many other people to step and protect that child. And unfortunately, that one video, it wasn't the case. But I've seen so many protests where little kids are like, hey, I'm doing this for my dad. I'm doing this for myself. So I would as well. I think the only thing that kind of holds me back is the crowds and COVID. And so it's kind of difficult to be like, would you bring your child to a protest? Yes, in general, but COVID is still rampant. And I don't want us to be like, yes, protest, but not also understand that you have to be careful out there. They were passing out hand sanitizer. They were passing out masks. They were 6 feet in, like, and so the kids would have to understand that as well.
I agree.
Me too.
Yeah, like for sure. I feel like they should be a part of the action of what's going on, and not just sitting at home because it's okay. Well, the grown-ups are doing this, but then again, it's got to be wise, especially like in what's going on currently, not just the the revolution, but the pandemic as well. So it's kind of like and of course, like I was just like, I literally blamed the cop or whoever did. I'm like, why would you make a child? Like, why
a baby, man?
Like, what can they do to you?
Like, now they're gonna be traumatized. Like, dang, I went to one protest and I don't want to go back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I got hurt.
Yeah.
So that was just like, man, that was so wrong. I did
heartbroken.
Hey, Kirby, he came on. Question is, do you know anyone with COVID-19? Me?
Oh God, no. No, not personally.
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of. Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of my great aunts got tested for it at the nursing home, but I believe it came back negative. So I'm gonna say no.
The people that I was gonna say I know of people, and most of them recovered. Like it was like a week or so, and they fully recovered. So.
Yeah, so not personally. Personally, I know people that their like grandparents, they know people that suffered or even unfortunately died.
Right. And I think that it's so important to like mention that, like, if that is your worry, like at all, that's 100% understandable. Like, we've been all talking about like recognizing that there's different avenues to be a part of the revolution, about this movement. There's so many ways that you can act. Protesting, it may not be for you at this time. Being on the forefront may not be for you at this time. So like if COVID or anything like that is one of your concerns, that's 100% understandable as well. And we just ask that like everybody is just like trying to protect other people while they're out there as well. Everyone had masks on. It's hot, burning up. People still wearing their masks. It's important because at the end of the day, we don't want that to be an issue as well.
How do you feel about people going like to protest by themselves?
I don't think it's the safest thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, like it's like you could tell everybody kind of has each other back, or that's how it feels at least. So I feel like if something were to happen and it was something like a drastic situation, even though you're by yourself, I don't think you would be alone. So it's
Right.
like it's like I honestly would have went out there I was going to go out there by myself if Tyra hadn't came with me. But like it's nice to have people with you, but I think you would definitely be okay if you didn't. Like
Yeah, I mean,
especially if
because
you're an adult.
we ended up seeing William, one of our friends. He was by himself before he saw us. So, and you kind of meet kind of like friends in a way, not friends, but like allies as you're walking and things like that. But I will say, going out there and having a plan, like y'all should have seen Lafayette every time we turned the street. He was like, okay, Tyra, this is going to be our exit just in case something pop off. We going this way to that. Like we had our plan in motion. We was looking out for people who was kind of cutting up and stuff. So
yeah, I had to stop somebody. Yeah.
Sure did. So even when you're going with someone, whether you're by yourself or not, it's always important to have like those plans in motion. Make sure your phone is fully charged just in case you gotta call someone. If you park, make sure you remember where you parked. If you got, I always take pictures of the streets and stuff just in case. And then you have like your GPS that can find your car for you and stuff like that. But it's just always important to have those safety measures in place just in case.
I went by myself today. It was not planned. A lot of people just didn't know if they wanted to go because of the storm or the rain that was coming, and I just decided to go anyways. But like everyone was saying, there is a unity that is formed. I was never alone. This woman shared her umbrella with me, and even in the social distancing, she was like, "Hey, I'll hold it in the middle. We can't be all up on each other, but I'm thinking of you as well." But I definitely knew where my car was the entire time. That's very important. I knew the routes, know what city, know where you guys are walking to, know the routes, watch your surroundings, be very careful. Because I do think that for me, I'm not saying that is okay, but I'm used to going to things by myself. So if you're a person that has never done it before, like if it's your first time, things like that, don't do it by yourself. I'll go with you, if you in Tampa. So just don't do it by yourself. But for me, I was used to, I understood. I know downtown Tampa so I knew that I knew where I was.
Yeah, that's me right now. Because I don't have nobody to go with it. But I feel like I want to be on front. Like I want to be out there. I want to be protesting like that. So it's just like I've had other people that just like, Samantha, do not go there out there by yourself. I'm just like, why? But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there's one happening over here tomorrow, and I might do.
I would say I think it's something that everybody should experience at least
for
once.
sure.
There, like, I don't feel like there are adequate words to describe the feeling that you have when you're out there. But like once you experience it, you'll want to do another one. Like I know we're probably going to another one if I'm off of work next week. So like it's really nice.
Yeah. I used to be honest hour. I used to be terrified. I'm like, I can't. I'm not a yeller. I can't go out there. I used to be afraid, and then especially having overprotective parents too. They're like, "Don't you go out there?" But I just felt so compelled as of late to go out there. A lot of the when Jordan Davis passed, there was a lot of protests that I was so scared to go to just because I just didn't want things to pop off and stuff. So I missed those opportunities to go and use my voice. And I'm like, I'm not missing any other opportunities no more. God got me covered. So
we had somebody out there with Sage.
Honey,
it was
she
a
was
lady
going
with
through the whole
Sage.
audience like blessings and peace over your life. I was like,
she was serious too.
She was so serious.
That's beautiful.
She was so serious. She was like, peace and blessings over everyone. She just kept going in.
Yeah,
in protection.
And she just had her Sage going around the whole crowd.
No, but there's
blown away. Was it raining? Oh, was it raining where y'all was at today?
It was crazy. It didn't rain until we got ready to go. Really?
Yeah, I mean, it rained a little bit as we were walking up, like the sprinkles and stuff. But then when we actually started marching, it was done. It didn't rain.
It came to Tampa.
And then when we left, it started raining. Back up raining.
No, I definitely, this is the first time in this protest that I saw people praying, bro, on the sides, like praying for the protesters' safeties, praying for justice. It was so, I literally almost shed a tear because they were fervently praying. and I'm reminding myself the power of prayer and the responsibility of intercessors during this time. And that's what they were doing. They were not marching with us. They were just on the sides of the roads as people were walking by, like just not laying hands, but obviously like praying for those. And I just felt like, wow, like that's so powerful in that, like, they're doing their part, even though they're not, you know, doing exactly what we're doing. They're literally just praying for protection and justice and the
That's
lives
a
that are
role.
lost. Yeah.
That's somebody got to stay behind and pray for us as we walking past it and be covering us. You know, somebody got to pass out the water. Somebody got to actually march. So it's roles for everybody, you know. So I saw a post that it was like, somebody got to watch the kids while everybody else protests. Somebody got to cook and make sure we eating before we go out there and protest. So everyone has a role. If you are not a person who wants to be on the forefront, you know, you don't have to feel guilty about it. And I also want social media to stop making people feel guilty about that as well. Because sometimes social media make you feel like, man, if you ain't donating $5 million, you ain't doing nothing. That's like, but I didn't get paid this week. I'm gonna donate what I can, you know. So you got also too, you have to make sure you watch out for that. Don't make anyone guilt trip you if you are not out there protesting. Find other ways, sign petitions. There's just so much one can do. So I want to make that point too.
Yeah, just do.
Just do it.
Because I think that what ends up happening is people are thinking because they can't do it one way, they don't have to do, like, they're not doing anything. Like, oh, I can't protest, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just not pay attention to nothing. And it's kind of just like, no, still call. There's still phone calls you can make. There's still, you know, petitions you can sign. There's still wisdom in conversations that you can be having. You know, there's so many things.
And now it's if you don't have money to, they've been creative where you watch certain YouTube videos and you watch all the ads, and that's you know, money.
That was so smart.
Very smart.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that.
Just certain YouTubers that have been doing stuff. If you watch all of their ads, like, that's monetizing. They're donating that to those
specific movements.
Wow.
Yep. So watch YouTube, y'all, if you ain't got no money.
I got a question.
Them kids be on YouTube, like, listen,
all day.
If you watch these videos, it's educational. It's like Black, you know, talking about Black history and what Black people doing, videos, things like that. Just keep watching. All right, thank you. Go ahead, Lafayette, what you saying?
So since we're going to protest now, can we go back to church?
I've been ready to go back to church.
What you got to say, Jasmine?
Oh, my church open. I'm not gonna lie. It's open. Really? Yeah.
My church isn't fully open yet. I think some of the ministers have been going, and he's been letting certain groups, like last week he let first responders come to church, I think, and then I think this week it's like teachers and stuff. So I think small groups are. But I'm gonna be the first. I'm gonna beat the pastor down when we are all able to go back. My church at 9 a.m. I'm gonna be there at 7.
My church been open for 2 weeks now. They put out a statement and they said, you know, they showed us everything that they're doing, the 6 feet apart that's happening in the sanctuary. We have multiple services, hand sanitizer, mask at the door. It's open though, but they're doing, you know, what they have to do. So
I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I low-key kind of forgot about COVID-19.
Yeah, that's gone. Hey, Bishop.
Hey, Bishop. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, low-key kind of forgot because there's so much been going on. Come on, Bishop, you better be out there in the front. The forefront.
I'm a front line.
I ain't forget now. I can't lie. I did not forget. Even when I'm marching, I'll be like, oh, okay. All right. But what I will say is, I think that, like, people were like, oh yeah. Like, it was easy.
But so much has been going on. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I've had to even take a break of social media just because especially on Twitter, not only were people talking about the protests, but then sexual assault topics came up and Black women being sexually assaulted. It was just too much, you know? So also to those people, like, it's okay to give yourself a break. You're not going to be less woke if you're not taking that mental break. And since we are talking about mental health, that's why I mentioned that. It's just like, that's a part of your mental health too, kind of debunking on social media. I do have a question for y'all too, though. How do y'all feel right now? Because I've had this conversation with a couple influencers and stuff. How do you guys feel about people posting some other things than protests?
Like what?
Selfies, accomplishments, that birthday posts, like just things other than Black Lives Matter movements and like protests and things of that nature. How do you guys feel about people just posting normal posts?
This is what I would say, because I actually just made a post about this because I had this conversation as well. Post what you want. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't own your social media. Post what you want. What I will say is I have had a lot of conversations with people praying and hoping for things to get back to normal. I don't like that statement. I'm not a fan of it, because back to normal is back to innocent lives dying. That was the normal. Back to normal was back to nobody caring. Back to normal was sitting quiet and sitting ignorant. So I'm not a fan of this back to normal push. And so, if you want to post something, like, post what you want to post. But I do think it's important to recognize that this is something that's going to keep on going. We're going to keep our foot on the gas. It's literally only been 2 weeks, or a week and a half.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important to be like, hey, like, I get it. You want things to go back to normal. But at the end of the day, this is the uncomfortableness, I guess, if that's a word, is something that's going to happen and that's needed. This is not supposed to feel good for anybody. To be like, oh my gosh, why do I have to wake up feeling sad? It's not comfortable for anybody. And we can't just go back to normal. And if that's why you're posting to go back to normal, I think you have to reevaluate and find other ways to deal with all the emotions that are coming with this movement.
Yeah, I agree. I think, quite frankly, I'm the type of person, because there's so much going on, my friend was like, I apologize now. I just wanted y'all to know, like, I bought my first car, and it's like, you shouldn't even have to put I apologize now. Like, I don't mind. I actually like saying, if you got an accomplishment or if it's your birthday, it kind of declutters my mind a little bit, and I don't mind seeing it personally. But I know people who just have so many issues with, like, if it's not about blah, 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 I don't want to see a post, and it's like, now we judging now. So it's just, that's a whole nother conversation.
I think my thing is, like, I guess motives. What'd you say, Samantha?
Motives. But we're Black lives, so
yeah, I would say motives, because you have some influencers who are posting stuff about Black Lives Matter, but they're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, there was one influencer that I won't name who told everybody that they hired a makeup team, a photographer. They had to go out and buy posters, and they took pictures in the middle of the street with posters. And it's like, okay, why didn't you actually go to a protest? Like, so again, it goes back to motives. Like, you could be posting Black Lives Matter all day, but really you don't care. You're not actually literally doing nothing for the movement except for posting a picture on social media. And then somebody posting an accomplishment, they may be at protests every time there is one, and they just want to post some good news. So, like Jasmine said, I don't control your social media, but we all have to check our motives, not just in this time, but anytime we post something. Like, why are you doing this? Like,
because social.
Sorry. I'll shout out Julie and Patrick that are on. Hey guys, they were exactly, like, yes, post what you need to post. Go ahead, Jazz.
No, I was saying, 100% what Laf was saying, and then also recognize that you may not get the same attention on social media now than before. People are doing other things. Like, yes, you want to post your accomplishments, and I'm so proud of everybody posting their accomplishments. I don't want y'all to feel ignored. There's some great things. People are having birthdays, seeing other years and things like that. But just understand that social media is an avenue for a movement as well. So that's why it's hitting it so hard, because literally without these videos of these deaths and things like that, we wouldn't have known. Like, this is what is pushing it forward. So social media is now used as an umbrella for a movement. So I hope that these people, like, yes, one person might be mad because you posted an accomplishment, but don't let them stop you. Like, we are proud of you. We are proud of every accomplishment that you do. Just check your motives at the door.
All right, got a question from Patrick. Hey, Patrick.
Hey,
what do you guys think about the writing? Is it right? Is it wrong? Do you feel like it get results?
I understand.
There we go.
Listen, now, I don't loot my mom would kick my behind if she saw me throwing a brick somewhere. Personally, but what I've been telling people all week. Okay, hold on, let me get comfortable. Okay, what I've been telling people all week. I don't like when we all want to talk about looting and stuff. Oh my God, don't break anything. What wasn't anybody saying? Like those same people didn't even talk about George Floyd. Didn't even talk about the senseless murder of Breonna Taylor when the girl was sleeping in her bed. Should have been dreaming about sheeps and ducks, but you want to come in her house and shoot her. So don't tell me about no looting. Because
Preach.
there are other. My people are upset. My people are mad. Y'all don't hear us when we peacefully kneel down at a football game. And those same people that fired him want to bring out a statement talking about some Black Lives Matter. No, it didn't matter when he was trying to peacefully kneel, because this is the same reason why we're trying to do a protest now. So
you just preached. Is there one?
No, because and this is not even, Patrick, it was a great question. I just been answering it all week, so that's why I got a little hype. It's more to life. Like if you understand why my people are looting, then you maybe understand, because y'all don't hear us until we break something. Y'all don't hear us until we break something. We've been peacefully protesting since 1960 something, and
since 1817,
since 16, 19.
Listen, but not only that, the same people talking about rooting and stuff, y'all want to say, oh, MLK wouldn't like that. He peacefully protested and y'all still murdered him. He was the most hated man in the country when he died. So therefore, don't tell me about no MLK. Don't speak for him because you didn't know him personally. Trying to tell his daughter Bernice what his dad would have did. I don't know what her daddy would have did.
Let me collect my offering. I'm getting my offering real quick.
What did they do? They rioted. And then what happened after that? Okay.
What you say, Sam?
Even though they rioted. And then what happened? Then we was doing all that peacefulness for when he was here.
Right. No one said anything about the Boston Tea Party throwing tea when you could have been drinking it over the water. The water ain't do nothing to you. The tea didn't do nothing to you, but you wanted to throw it overboard. So don't tell me about no good.
Right.
Well, I think Tyra answered that question.
Period.
Right, Patrick, you got the gist, Patrick.
I'm sorry. I just been answering the question all week, and I was just like, man, like, would I do it? No. Do I condone it? It's, no, I would rather us not, especially when Black businesses are being affected as well. So no, I would not. But I understand.
They rioted after he died, and that's when we got the Civil Rights Act. Like, that's when things came into play.
Right. So it just really tickled me when the 49ers sent out that Black Lives Matter post. I said, wow, isn't that why Cat was kneeling and y'all had a problem? Y'all fired him, y'all blackballed him from the NFL. Okay.
Wow.
Bro.
I really, like, after Lafayette said what he said last week about like the PR and maybe just the PR stuff, like I really see like this week, like I was just like, man, I was just like, okay, they saying, but I'm just like, is it just y'all PR and y'all just, going with the flow because everybody else is doing it? If you don't do it, we're gonna cancel you, right?
Exactly what it is.
And damage
control. But listen though, even if that's the case, though it's not right. Even if that's the case, a lot of these companies are like, let me put a little money in this now, before people start to Wendy's
really did. Wendy's got hit quick.
They said, wait. We need y'all. Wait,
that's not what we meant.
Amazon, they burnt down one of Amazon's buildings.
Yes, in California.
It's okay, y'all. I'm not saying that it's okay. But mind you, we don't know who did that though. So first of all, we don't know who did it, one, and not saying that it's okay. But best believe Amazon came back. Wait.
No, but
Black Lives Matter. I said, oh, okay.
That happened though. Did he put out a statement before that happened?
What happened?
He remember on Amazon's site, Black Lives Matter.
They had the black,
on top of it.
People, they was mad. They was sending him emails and all that talking about, oh, why would you do that? That's offensive. All lives matter.
Yeah.
And now the distributing site them burned down.
Ooh.
Now I do want to give a shout out.
Real thugs. Y'all need to go look for them.
Right.
Period.
Who would y'all say do you think is having a more genuine post? For me, I would say Nickelodeon. They had
Nickelodeon blanked out for 8 minutes.
Yeah, for 8 minutes. So like, just because the reason I ask, because I know we talk about like these companies just be having their PR person No more 4 for 4. Listen.
Period.
Listen, and no spicy chicken nuggets.
Right. They said,
But y'all,
it's for.
I think I'm the only individual that don't like Wendy's.
I don't
You
eat
crazy.
Wendy's either.
Don't
I don't eat
attack
Wendy's
me.
either.
Crazy.
Don't
I don't
attack
eat Wendy's
me.
either.
Some
I do
fresh
not-
Wendy's. Fresh
Mm-mm.
Wendy's is good.
I'm not a fan.
of sea
With that
salt.
sea salt.
Mm-mm.
Oh, the sea
Yeah.
salt. The sea salt
No.
on the fries.
I'm not a fan, but
No, shout outs to Ben and Jerry's, bro.
Oh.
They was like, exactly, Patrick.
what's Ben and Jerry's? What's Ben and
The
Jerry's?
ice cream?
There is the ice.
Oh, I
They
never
made a
heard.
very big statement.
They right there, like everybody else was on some like, all right, Black Lives Matter, we stand for the Black people. Ben and Jerry's was like, no, we need to crush on white supremacy. That's how we do it.
Ben and Jerry's.
Where is Ben
we
and
want the
Jerry's? I
smoke.
want to support them.
I'm about to go buy some ice cream now.
Hey, Keon, how are you? Yeah, man. When you ask her,
Now-
yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, it does. It does.
I know
Now
that's
y'all
right.
know who disappointed me with the
What?
whole PR? Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A really dropped the ball for me.
Yeah. I feel like Chick-fil-A is always in the fire, but because
But
it's Chick-fil-A, folks just be turning a blind eye to it. Like,
Chick-fil-A basically said, you can be racist, just don't associate it with us. Don't have us as your employer on your social media if you're going to speak out about anything. That's essentially what the statement said. And it's like, wow, Chick-fil-A.
but Chick-fil-A honestly
no
has been under the fire. I'm not 100% sure it is, but I've heard they invest in conversion camps and things like that. They've been under the fire for a long time.
Conversion camp? What's that?
LGBTQ,
like trying,
to flip them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People still have those?
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised, unfortunately.
Surprised. That's why I say Chick-fil-A has been under the fire for a long time now. For a long time. We were supposed to have been canceled Chick-fil-A a long time ago.
Well, I ain't ate that in 2 weeks, so that's a start.
It starts now.
Y'all better start cooking. Y'all better start cooking or supporting. Look, I'm telling people all week, support Black-owned businesses.
No, for real. That's literally the move. Like from here on out, that's the move for real.
I haven't been eating out. I've just been waiting till I got home because I'm like, I refuse. And I mean it. I refuse. I'll be hungry before I eat at these places. And I mean it.
No, legit.
Even if we gotta eat a PB&J sandwich for dinner.
Hello.
No, but that's real because I feel like what's been happening is like, okay, every time, something like this happens, they're just like, okay, well, that's why y'all gotta go vote, and y'all Black people not voting, blah, 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 right? Or we've been doing these peaceful protests and nothing really has been popping. Now what's really gonna get their attention, not only these, the protesting, right, and all that, whatever, we don't know that, but okay, what's really gonna get their attention is when we start pulling our dollars,
Money.
right?
Pulling their dollars, exactly.
We start pulling our dollars because we literally contribute the most.
Everything. Yeah, we're consumers. Yeah.
We're legit the consumers. So like, if we really strategize and we took our monies out and put it in like the Black communities, I heard somebody was saying like, oh well, if y'all support the Black communities, they still got to pay the white, pay the taxes, pay the white taxes. It doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
Right. Right. At least it's going to
We
them.
all got to pay taxes.
Exactly. We're not gonna pay taxes, so I don't care. It's gonna go to them. Like, and that's what we need to do because once we can hit them in their pockets, that's when they're gonna be like, all right, no, we need to get them what they want. And that's the reason why all these companies are like, no, let's go ahead and put out a statement before they try to cancel us and not give us
I need more than a statement, though. I'm still not with these statements.
If we want to be real, that's all they care about. They don't really care about our lives, but they don't care about our money.
Yeah.
So we need to pull our money out. We need to pull our money out and put it in put it with the Black people. That's what we need.
And back to Patrick's question, I think the rioting, holding our Black dollar, going to protest, and voting, I think those all work together to get to where we want. So I think though it may not be nice or it may not be comfortable, like Jasper says, it's not comfortable, but we need every single step of this to happen for us to see change. Voting alone won't do it. Protesting alone won't do it. We have to literally do all of it. Now, I'm not going to go tear up nobody's business, but there are people who do it and they don't have nothing to lose.
Hurt their pockets.
We all got to make it come together. It all comes together.
because it doesn't make sense for just us 4 or us 10 or us 20 or us thousands to be like, okay, we're gonna do that and nobody else, you
Right.
know,
Right.
because it's not gonna make a difference. It's not gonna hurt for real. Like we all gotta be on one page. We all gotta be on one accord. Like, because there's people that just like, okay, cool. Well, I'm not gonna go out there and protest, or I'm not gonna do this, or they still don't even see the difference or why they should vote for real. Like, oh, my vote don't matter. People, they gonna do what they want to do anyways. But if we're saying the mission is for equal rights and for justice and the like with police brutality in the court system, housing, all of that, like we really we gotta take our money. Like we know our rights. No, okay, no, we realize we're the consumers here. Like, so money talk. So let's pull our money.
So I got a question. Do you expect your church or your church leaders to contribute to Black Lives Matter how you do? Like, what demand do you all put on the church in this whole movement, other than having church service?
What demand?
Yeah, like what would you expect from your church? Like for me, I see a lot of churches, you know, they just take. People bring their money, they don't, some give back, some don't. But like outside of that, what would y'all like to see from a church? Like, would you like to see the leaders out with you, or like in the community, or do y'all's churches already do that? Like, you know, what function does the church play in all of this?
It plays a huge part, because even remember, Love, when we was out there, there was a lady on there that had pastor on there, and I just think that's so dope. Like, even if they weren't, marching, like going back to what Jasmine said, like covering people in prayer as they walk. I know on my church we've given donations. I think the church gave one to the local chapter here at the NAACP, and I know him and a bunch of other pastors from Jacksonville, they're doing a press conference at the city hall on Monday morning, where they're going to be talking to different people. So that's really dope. So I think, to answer your question, for me, I just want to know, at least do something. Like, it goes back to an individual doing, like, if protesting is not your thing, maybe sign a petition or, or donate. So as a church, maybe send out an email. Hey, everyone, sign this petition. Hey, everyone, donate $1. Da, 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 da. It's so much I think a church can do just as much as an individual. So I would love to do a couple marches as a church, or hold our own protests or something.
A prayer protest, period.
A prayer protest.
Tampa did something similar. All of the Black pastors in Tampa came together and they prayed in the park downtown. And I thought that was really cool to see, because I haven't seen that anywhere else. Maybe I'm not exposed to it, or I don't know. Like, but that was really cool to see.
I started to see some churches do, like some churches back home and some churches, as well as my church. Well, I can't speak for my church, but I've seen churches back home do kind of like, you have a building fund, you have a missionary, you have these tithes. They also have a tithes for injustice / Black Lives Matter / whatever they want to call it. But with doing it that way, now they're giving church individuals an option, I should say. So I think that's very important as well. Just bringing awareness as a body, as a church, to be like, hey, we want to find a way to support. We support other things this way, so we're going to do it the same way. So I really liked seeing, they called it an injustice offering. Because I guess they didn't want to call it a Black Lives Matter offering, but they were talking about injustice in general. They feel like that justice in general just needs to be a conversation in church, in general. And so I think that we've understood injustice. Not all churches, but a lot of the times when you see injustice, you think about the poor. We got that one, but now they want to cover like all of the realms of injustice, and so I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah, there was a church in Tampa, my old church in Tampa, Crossover. They had like a prayer walk today, and I thought that was really cool. If I was there, I'd have been on the streets praying, like that, because they were like walking down Fowler, because last weekend they were like looting and burning up places there and doing all that. So they just went saying that same route and was just praying and things like that.
Oh wow!
And all of that. They had like the flow and stuff like that. And it was raining. They were still walking in the rain, praying in the rain and things like that.
In the rain.
Yeah, but y'all know I be going all the way deep, because y'all know, look, I'm a teacher or whatever. But for like what I feel like the demand, or what I feel like the church should feel or be like or feel like or be doing, well, technically the church is considered the body of Christ, and I think that is so important that we asked, like, is the church even important in this? It really is, because I did an episode not too long ago, and I was talking about body language and like seeking the face of God and things like that. And the church literally, like, I feel like there's a language that is portrayed in the body, again, talking about the church, that is going to resonate, or that's going to resemble the face of God and what God is feeling. You know what I mean? So as a church, if I'm not seeing that you're hurting or that this is bothering any way, it's going to be weird, right? Because it's like the church, we're looking to the church to kind of figure out what God is saying and what he's doing, right? Like, the people, they look to us, we're the light. So it's like, okay, how is the church responding to this? Do they even care about this? And if we have churches that don't care and they're not speaking out about it, what do you think the world gonna think? They're gonna be like, forget, you know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna take it that serious. But if they see, like, this is the heart of God about this, like, God is really grieving, he really cares about the injustice and how the Black people are feeling, like, okay, maybe, this is what God feels. But if we're not getting that, and we're like, okay, well, obviously, I guess God for the white people, like, and that's why now I keep hearing conversations where, like, well, Christianity is for the white man anyways, like, blah, and we fighting this a lot during this time because the church isn't really responding. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I know some people are taking a stance like, well, we're praying and blase, but I mean, cool, yeah, pray, like, for sure, we need that. But at the same time, what is God's heart about this? Like, if we're not seeing that from y'all, we're not gonna believe that that's how God feels. And then again, we're gonna justify or say that it's the white man's religion, it's for the white people, and God ain't for us.
Child, Joel Osteen, man, he is being slammed right now for going protesting. Boy, them comments, I literally had to stop reading because they are coming for him.
There was I don't know who they are, but it's a lady named Natalie Grant. I don't remember her husband's name, but she made a post talking about how since she made a post about Black Lives Matter and all the injustice, like, she lost so many followers. People are like, hey, like, we really just wanted you to talk about God. We didn't want to hear about the other stuff from you. So I'm going to have to unfollow you now. And it's just
there is confusion.
What in the world?
Like, even on
Jesus.
Even on the other side, there is confusion because people keep saying, like, oh, like, don't be political. But we said it last week. Injustice is not political. Like, Jesus,
that's a moral
literally
thing.
Right. God cares about all of his children. I don't understand how all of a sudden fighting for a child of God, because there are Black children of God, I just don't get it. So I think that there's confusion right now. If you say, like, hey, I care about Black children of God, people's minds are
they can't take it.
Right.
They can't take it.
So it's
take a load of this guy.
Honestly, it's ignorance. It is literally ignorance. I was just talking to my cousin about it, and we were just talking about how, like, it's important for now, like, these conversations to happen, because I'm not going to lie to you. Those people, I just started unfollowing.
Me too.
Unfollowing.
Blocked and unfollowed.
But there's also, it's important for us to, if they are willing, I'm not going to argue with somebody that's going to argue with me, but if they're willing to listen, I do feel like people in my church, if they're confused, you know me as a follower of Jesus. Let's talk about it in that avenue. If you truly believed me as an equal to you, let's have this conversation. I'm going to stop blocking you now, and I'm going to honestly try to have that difficult conversation. Now, I ain't going to be beat up. Jesus said, keep it trucking. If they don't want to listen, hey, I'm not going to get, I'm not going to
on to the next town.
Right. But what I will say is I do want to start having those conversations. I'm not going to block them immediately because they don't get it. It's blinding. And it seems like it's blind to some people.
So do you think a comment on a post or, explaining them in the post makes a difference?
I think so. I had to, I actually went through that this week. Jeff.
My bad, y'all.
I had to go through that this week. A friend of mine, she's white. She was just talking about how these looting is wrong. I had to slide in the comments real quick because I know she's not, I know she is a lover of people. So I had to educate. It ended up us being on the phone, and it ended up with us talking about it. She was like, "Man, I never saw it that way," and she was just like, she couldn't understand the definition. She was taking the word privilege as a negative term, and I was like, "It's not. Thing. I don't know who has made it that way, but it's not. It's just simply knowing I'm in this position." And somebody else may not be. So how can I use my position to help the next person? Ended up being on the phone talking about it. And she was like, man, I've learned so much. And it's like, that's really what it is. Like, it wasn't,
Right.
it's not a
And
negative
maybe it's
term.
just common sense to us because we live on the other
Right,
side
Yeah,
on
because
it.
we live on the other
exactly.
side, right? But
Ooh.
what Patrick asked?
Ooh.
Do you feel like it's our responsibility to educate racism?
Now
To an
listen.
extent, yes.
Yeah, I'm about to say we have some responsibility in this too, because in this point I'm thinking about Jesus, bro. I have to think about Jesus and how he educated the people, how he had conversations. But Jesus was oppressed for real. Like at the end, we know the end of his story on earth. So it's kind of just like, I do think we hold responsibility too. But I do also understand that it's tough for the people that are being oppressed to always have to explain themselves to everybody. It's
Yeah.
difficult. But I feel like if you can educate others, try to. It's a toss up for me.
And for me, I know for me, like I used to be like, oh, racist, that automatically means white. But you have black racist people. You have black
Mm-hmm.
people that don't think they're black or that they don't resonate with
Like
black
that girl
culture.
on Dr. Phil.
And and
That
people who
girl.
literally like, anything black they hate. So it's like, I may not be able to go to somebody in the woods that's a white redneck, but I can go to my brother across the street who doesn't even realize he's black and his part in this struggle. So I
Mm.
think like there's levels to it, like with anything. So like
I
I
think
said,
the thing
maybe
is,
yeah.
I'm
I
sorry.
can't go to the White House and I'm not going to try to convince Trump, but I can try to do it on a smaller level. Like
Mm.
I think too, racism is taught.
Mm-hmm.
So I
yeah.
feel like it's like the unteaching of stuff. And for me, I just have to ask myself, do I feel like doing that?
That's a lot of energy.
It's a lot of energy taken out of you. Shout out to the people that do. For
Right.
me, I don't
But
know.
there are
I
so
don't
many
mind.
books and
Yes, so many books, so many resources. I don't
resources.
mind talking like the conversation I had with the lady. I don't mind having a conversation like that. It's some people are just ignorant to the fact of they don't understand. Like
Mm-hmm.
I said, you talking about peaceful protesting, but you realize Kaepernick was peacefully protesting. Like when you say it like that, does it make sense now? And so
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind having those conversations because some people just. She was like, "Well, I've lived in a world. My parents didn't teach me racism. Your parents didn't, but somebody else's parents did. So this is what's happening."
Mm.
We're
And
adults
so,
now.
yeah, and so I don't mind having a conversation like that. But if you just playing out racist, you're not gonna like me anyway. So at this point, it's just like I
Now,
refuse to let somebody take the energy away from me. I refuse. But shout out to the people that have the time.
What about some folks say racism isn't taught?
I think it is. I don't know.
Look at children. Look at children.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think the
Children
best
don't
example is children. They don't care about that.
They don't care.
It's around that middle school, well, late elementary to middle school years where it kind of that blurred line. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, shout out to the kids. I know there's a viral video going around where it's a girl, like teenager, like
telling off her parents.
talking. Yeah.
Ooh.
Shout out to those people who have seen it, who have been taught it, but decide that something my spirit not agreeing with this, and let me educate myself. So shout out to those people as well, because it's up to y'all. They have more power to talk to their family members than we do.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think we do play a part in it for sure. Yeah. Like,
so what about a lot of what I've been seeing is, well, they want to riot for when a white man kill a black man, but what about a black on black crimes and a black man killing a black man? They don't riot for that.
Don't get me started.
So I
done said a lot. So I'm gonna let y'all talk.
I've said this many a times. I've said this so much. Crime. Everybody understands crime. Everybody knows crime is wrong. To me, this is my personal opinion, y'all. Black on black doesn't exist. Crime is crime. Yeah. Black people kill black people. White people kill white people. Hispanics kill Hispanics. Crime is crime. We know crime is bad. The issue is a system that is set to protect people are saying that we can pick and choose when we want to kill somebody and get away with it. It is a systematic issue. Crime in general is an issue. We get that.
We know that.
We know it. We know black on black or whatever y'all want to call it. It's just crime, y'all. Everybody kills their own. This is not okay, but there's groups of people that kill their own people. It's not okay. But what we're talking about is, how am I supposed to live in a systematic brokenness? Yeah, oppression. Like, how am I supposed to live in that? And if you're saying to me that a regular person that because a black man kills another black man, it's okay for a police to kill a black man. Both of those are wrong. That's not an argument. Like, that doesn't make sense to me for you to use that. Well, black on black exists. That's like, you know what it is? It's kind of like
Well, it's
someone
not.
that's like, it's
I
kind of
was
like
gonna.
when someone is like, okay, cigarettes are legal, so crack should be legal too. That don't make sense. That does not make sense. Neither should be legal. They're both an issue. One is legal right now, but it's not okay. Like, it just don't make sense to me, bro.
Yeah, and I would say I think that people even come up with that excuse because that's all media shows. They don't show white people killing white people or Hispanics killing Hispanics. It happens every day, but if you watch your local news right now, you're only going to see black case a lot of times because for some reason those are so much worse than people who of other races or nationalities. So also look at that. Like even look at how the media is portraying protests. Like if you only watch the news to understand what protests were, you would be scared out of your life.
So scared, terrified.
But when you actually go to one, you realize how peaceful it is, how many people are helping each other. Of course, they're only going to show one side. They're showing what the country believes or what the country wants to hear or whatever their market is. So you also have to remember that. Yeah.
Right. Especially Fox News. I can't stand it.
Ugh.
And black people want to go protest. But for me, like when they, I swear, like this whole time, every time they say, well, y'all don't be rioting when the black person did, their lives don't matter. Talking about that ain't even the bro. That is literally a symptom of the actual thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like these are symptoms that you're talking about. We're trying to get to the root of it. So you keep bringing up these symptoms. We don't care about the symptoms. We're trying to tear up the root. Like, and the root that we're trying to tear up is the injustices, the fact that we're being oppressed, the fact that the system is broken, and literally, like, of course, like there's gonna be crimes and all that when they literally push all the black people and all the minorities in a certain area where there's a bunch of like gang violence and things like that, and literally that's all they know and that's all they join because that's literally what y'all put like system. The same way I saw a video of during the protest and there was like random like bricks piled there and they're just like, oh wow, like who put these bricks here, like because they you know what I mean, like y'all trying to get us to
set us up, bro.
Yeah, right, and do all that and loot whatever the case is. The same way I feel about drugs in the ghetto. How we got there? How we got there?
Man, if y'all ain't seen that documentary 13, I suggest.
Oh, that's so sad. So sad.
I haven't seen that yet.
I had to watch it in class for my Black Women in America class.
One thing about it, when it comes to like the jails and court and all that, I just
that's a whole nother story.
And there, what is it? The 13th Amendment. There's something in there that basically says like you're free, you're not a slave as long as you're not in prison. Once you're in prison, basically you are treated as a slave. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much bigger than this, horrific. These are horrific events that we're just now seeing. Like I've been saying that so much. Like people are like, oh, they're getting convicted, they're getting arrested. It's so much bigger than that, man. It's so much bigger.
Yeah.
It's such a bigger beast that we are trying to, defeat right now.
Yeah.
It is. Again, going for the root. Like, stop talking to me about the symptoms. I don't care about that. I'm trying to get out the root. Like, and y'all keep trying to discourage us for us to be protesting and doing all this because y'all want to sit there and keep telling us about a symptom. We know about that symptom. We're gonna handle that. We get into the root of it first. You know what I mean? And go ahead.
I should say, my last question, I guess, would be after all this is over, right? Let's say, hopefully, that all of these police who have been charged with the murders, like. After all of this is over, are we done? Are we done protesting? Or what do y'all think the next course of action is? Like, what do we do? Because I don't feel that's one thing I think I was talking to y'all about. I'm like, okay, BLM, Black Lives Matter for people. That's BLM. BLM, we always come out when something bad happens, but I wonder about our consistency and what our plan is. So I think I would just want to see what that looks like or what y'all think that looks like after all of this. Because we're gonna get past it.
I think that's on the millennials though, because like I was just watching videos and like things from BLM before these deaths happened. Like Trayvon's mom is becoming a part of like, legislation and things like that. They were moving. I think now it's on us as millennials, as the next generation, to keep the foot on the gas, because at the end of the day, we're going to see in Jesus' name, like, these people get convicted, and we all hopes, like, but at the end of the day, like Sam was saying, we're uprooting something. So I really hope that people are not like, yay, we're done. Because I honestly think that that's something when MLK died.
That's what happened.
I honestly think we slowed down. So I really hope.
We settled. We settled for them to just add something to the Constitution, that 13th Amendment, and that was it. That was it. They just added it, and we're just like, okay, cool. We're not gonna treat y'all as slaves, but y'all commit crimes. So that's why all the black people. We don't talk about that. Okay, we gonna talk about that. You see the system, because we can't treat you as slaves but we can get you in the jail cell. We can treat you in the jailhouse. We can treat you as slaves then.
And you see how many of us are in jail?
Millions. And a lot of us are wrongfully in jail. That's another topic.
Or somebody have just marijuana on them.
And now you see Netflix shows with white people cooking with marijuana, and you got people spend the rest of their life in prison over that same thing. What's the difference?
We get the more like literally and literally, like, because I was interning at the courthouse, things like that, like they will literally have you in jail, whatever the case is. They will keep pushing back your court date, but for no reason. They just keep pushing back your put more time in jail. You find yourself a year in there. You never got even a court date for your sentence or none of that. You don't even know how long you're gonna be in there, but they just have you in there. They keep pushing back your court date because the prosecutor's like, oh, well, we still need the DNA testing, we still need the results, push your court date. I'm like, why is these people sitting in jail? They don't know how long. They don't even know what they're like. Yeah, they may know they're charged. They don't know, like, no, like, and they just don't care. What are they doing? They're suffering in there for what reason? Like, and they do it all the time. They don't care.
Fit the description.
They fit the description.
Oh, Monica.
Education system.
Let's not get started.
Keon says, man, y'all dropping serious jewels right now. I thank God.
Thank God, because we was all like tired before this.
And we didn't even know what we was going to talk about.
Right. This the Holy Spirit here.
This is the Holy Spirit talking, for real.
Honestly, I feel like before this live started, I was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't talk about this. We've been talking about it. We talked about this last week, like that. But honestly, this is great. Feel, bro. Yeah. This is how it is.
We're not going to take the foot off the gas. Like, you know what I mean? Because how many other people are going to feel like that? Well, dang, we've been talking about this all week. Or,
right.
Black Lives Matter too. They start changing stuff for real, not because of a conviction, right? You know what I mean? Like, yes, we're mad because of what happened with George Floyd. Yes, we want to see convictions, but again, we're pulling out the root, like, and it's not gonna take 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. It might take the rest of the year.
It might take the rest of our life.
For real.
And then too, I just want to say, I don't know who this for, but honestly though, too, another thing that's been kind of just in my spirit, and I had to just come out and just be like, you know what, enough is enough. To people who want to say something and are terrified because they're scared about a future employer, they're scared about what their boss is going to say. What is wrong with posting about the injustice of our people? If they don't understand that,
I don't want to work for you.
I don't want to be around you.
Like, it's the injustice of a group of individuals. Like, what a part of that? Now, I don't get it. I don't understand. So, I mean, but I've been there. Like I told y'all, I think last week in school, they teach us not to be political on our social media pages. But what is wrong with me sharing a petition? How is that being disrespectful to anybody? What is wrong with me sharing ways that people can get involved? If you find a problem with that, and I'm your Black employee,
you got a problem with me.
Then you have a problem with me, my mama, my daddy, my unborn children. Like, you have a problem with all of us. And so it's like, man, and I hate that a lot of people do feel afraid. A lot of people feel afraid.
Yep.
They're like, if I speak out, I might lose my job, or my future might be in jeopardy. It's like, man, listen, let me tell you, I serve a God who done took care of me before, and he gonna take care of me again, and that's on period, point blank, 100, no doubts about it. And so I had to learn that myself, that God, man, I'm telling you, it's been times I'm like, man, I don't know, especially in Tampa, or I don't know how, my rent got paid, but it
We
got
witnessed
paid.
it. Sure
But it
did.
did.
So it's like, man, that's the same God that took care of me when I was without a job for like 3 weeks in the beginning of COVID. If every bill was met and if every need was met, that's the same God that's going to take care of me. People forget Jesus fought for oppression. He fought for, he flipped them tables in the temple. So yes, Jesus got mad too. So it's like, man, I know God's going to take care of me.
Either way.
Either
Period.
way.
Right.
I just had to get that off my chest.
So what?
I also like because you know we're Christian and you know sometimes like it's hard because I feel like again even like Christian church whatever and they try to stay politically correct or they just say some things but not too much. They generalize it hurts. And you know watching some like you know Christian leaders or Christian pastors and just like seeing how general or like them saying like, well, you know, God is a God of justice and like just
He'll
being
handle it. Yeah,
you know,
God
like,
got it.
And just you know, tweeting a scripture or whatever the case is cool, but it's just like that's it. You know what I mean? Like, so you're not moved or you're not hurt by the fact that you know this is injustice and Black lives do matter or whatever the case is. And so then it had me thinking like, well, dang, like maybe should I not be sharing what I'm sharing or whatever? Like I know these people follow me, so like do I feel something? Am I in the wrong? Like, and then I was literally like in distraught. Like literally, I was really distraught, and I was like, okay, God, like what? And it was just like, okay, being a Christian, I know sometimes I will have conversations and just like, okay, well, I don't know if we can say that because the saints might, whatever. I'm just like, well, we need to be real. Why was being politically correct? That doesn't make any sense to me. And so I was literally wrestling with that, like, okay, Christianity, how I feel, whatever the case is. And like, God literally had to be like, stop fighting for your Christianity and fight for a relationship. And that literally gave me so much peace and it literally gave me ease of mind because it's just like, if these people that are so called unquote Christian, for example, people in the White House, okay, and you know they're like saying all these racist stuff, or they're not seeing this as a problem or this as an issue. Like I was just kind of wrestling with that. Like, well, dang, like, right, like is that not something we like talk about? Whatever the case is. And literally, God was just like, "Don't fight for Christianity," because at the end of the day, like, what, like, yes, it's you know a belief or it's a faith, but it's a name at the end of the day. Like, fight for relationship, and literally, the whole umbrella of this is being one. And Jesus' prayer was that for us to be one, like Him and the Father are one. So fight for that. You know what I mean? We're fighting for a relationship. When we're fighting to be one with each other because of how Christ is, and we're resembling what Jesus did. Like that's fighting for a relationship over religion. Over Christianity, and that's why I'm like, okay, like that it's like God gave me the power, the strength to like, okay, like let me put everything in and let me do this. You know what I mean? Not worrying about what Christians might say, not worrying about other people say. Like at the end of the day, like this is about relationship with God. And He gave me a scenario because y'all know I'm all for if y'all follow my podcast, y'all know I'm all for the examples and things like that, the natural. And like God was showing me was just like, think about it. Like let's say I have a younger sister. And let's say you're at school and people are bullying her, but your parents are not for like violence or you staying in your place and things like that. So let's say my little sister is getting bullied at school, and in my head I'm like, well, my mom she doesn't like us fighting, she doesn't like us, yelling at people, whatever. So I'm just not saying anything, and I'm watching my sister. So now we go, my parents get caught or whatever case. We go home, and my mom was like, so you saw your sister getting bullied, you didn't say nothing? I'm like, well, Mom, you said you don't like violence, or you say for turn the other cheek, and so, Mom, girl, you crazy? Like I should slap you. You saw your little sister over here calling her a monkey and all this stuff, and you did not say anything to protect your sister. You know what I mean? That's how God showed me. Like that's the same. Like that's what y'all saying when y'all just be like, oh well, God says da da da. Like, are you serious right now? Like that's your sister, that's your brother. What do you mean? Why would you not say anything when they're literally getting bullied? When they're literally facing injustice, why would you not say anything? Why do you think that's okay? And that's what God showed it to me. And I was just like, all right, that's it, God. Like, I'm good. We good. Like, and I kept it moving. Like, that's how He showed it to me.
Right. That's good. Yeah.
I think the craziest thing I saw this week, and I didn't even finish the video, but there was a Black gospel artist. He's pretty well known. And he's like crying and he's praying. And I'm thinking he's going to like pray for Black Lives Matter. He's like, God, let the police please stop being killed. Let the police brutality please stop, God. I'm asking now that you would just help them, help us to stop fighting. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, what is wrong with you? What happens for you to just completely not care about what's going on and completely ignore this issue? And that brings me to this thing of what is your motive again? Are you just trying to make sure you secure your bag with your followers, or are you trying, like, what are you doing? Because it's like I don't see how anybody could do that. Like, I literally want to go through that phone and be like, hey, wake up, please come back from the sunken place, there's time.
You know what it is?
We're Christians. They keep putting. I'm like, well, y'all can have Christianity. I have Jesus. Jesus ain't white, so I'm sorry if that you felt offended. Jesus ain't white, so I'll take Jesus. Y'all can have a religion. I'll take Jesus.
You know what it is?
It blew me.
A lot of people, we're not loving each other as we love ourselves. I think that's what it is. We have levels for how we love people and how we care about people and who gets love and who doesn't get love and who this, and that. And I think that a lot of the times it's just it's getting lost right now. People are trying to look Christian again. Instead of act Christian, people are trying to look a certain type of way instead of do what the Bible says for us to do. Like Preston Perry, he said it. He's an apologist, and he's a poet. He's a man of God. He's so good, and he just said, a lot of Christians are saying they're not following the Black Lives Matter movement because it's not a Christian movement, but it's literally a movement saying that these group of people deserve love, deserve equality, that are oppressed and being hurt. That's biblical like that is also biblical.
That's why Jesus
the Bible
came.
Says, I'm here for those. I'm here for those people. I'm literally here for those people. So it's kind of just like, it's crazy how people are like, well, it doesn't say Christian on it, so I can't.
Not to equate Black Lives Matter to Jesus or his movement, but even back in that day, it was the same thing. Jesus was a trailblazer for his time. Like Jesus wasn't like the pharaohs and everybody else. He hung out with prostitutes. He hung out with the lowest of people. And in this society, we are considered one of the lower or the lowest of people. So it's like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, would y'all have even been for Jesus if y'all were walking with him when he was on earth? Because it's like, literally everything you're saying is what Jesus stood against.
A lot of people did not like Jesus, and I think we forget that part. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, the men weren't for it, and it's just like, man. So I also have to keep that in mind too. Like, a lot of people don't like us; they didn't like Jesus either.
I don't get it.
That's the thing. We had a Bible study, and I was like saying, like, I heard God was just saying, like, rules versus like obedience, and that's really what it is. It's just like how there's got to be literally, y'all have to see this word for word in the Bible, Black Lives Matter, for y'all to be like, okay, for the Black lives, you know what I mean? Like, are you serious right now? And that's the thing that I'm talking about, where it's just like,
and we've explained it over and over and over again, but I'm just going to say it again. When we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying that any other life doesn't matter. We've said it over and over and over again. But
the Constitution says that you matter.
For right now, we're fighting for the oppressed. Jesus fought for the oppressed. Like, that's what we're doing. That is who we're standing up for. If you have a voice, that's who you should be standing up for. It's okay when you do it for the poor. It's okay when you do it for the...
Right.
It's not a photo op moment. You're not looking like the hero a lot of times in this situation. So it's like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Dang.
Either. So
that's good, Live. That was good.
That was real good.
But we don't have to these countries. I got an issue with that. But when it's in your own country, okay.
Now I'm uncomfortable.
Let us go over to Iran and help the poor people. Like,
right. But they say
we
go and bring aid to them. But in your own country, though, you can't talk about it. Okay.
We quit to go on these mission trips and take pictures with the little black babies, but we don't want to do Black Lives Matter. Make it make sense.
Adopting African babies.
Make it make sense. Like, so we can go to this Take pictures with the little black children. Make
And not
ourselves look good, but we can't go listen.
and we're not saying like that's not great, but you have to
Right.
recognize it though. You have
It's
to
recognize it.
man.
Yeah. Man.
Jeez Louise.
That's all I
No,
gotta
I'm not
say.
even gonna lie. These conversations had to happen, like I said, in my family. And I ain't trying to call nobody out, but I also had to have these like conversation of just like, oh yeah, it makes sense to go on a mission trip that could be quote unquote dangerous. But going to a protest that's supposed to be peaceful, no, don't do that. But you real quick to push me on a mission trip that has the title of mission, on it. But you don't want me to do this.
This is a mission.
And even if I said, hey, I'm going to protest to pray. No.
But I could go
on a mission trip. Oh, no. You don't. See, listen.
And you got to pay for a mission trip.
You
have
do.
to pay so much money for a mission trip.
Right. But it looks better and it sounds better to say I went on a mission trip, right? Than to say, oh, I went on a protest for Black Lives Matter because now you look that way among your other people, huh? It's okay. We see y'all.
It's insane.
Right. That's showing your heart for real. Because again, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a matter of a heart, and what Jasmine's saying, like you want to look some way, but you're not gonna act it for real. You know what I mean? Like don't play that. Like and we're saying that. Like I'm really glad I'm seeing like people's posts. I'm really seeing how they feel through because it's just like, okay, but y'all was just asking for money to send to you know these different countries.
It's all about image, PR and image.
But about this, I can't say anything. We're not gonna say anything because we're gonna stay on the word of God. The word of God is talking about injustice. So where y'all at? That's fact. I think that would be also my family's reaction to me going to a protest.
No, it's facts. I had to have like difficult conversations about going out on protests and things like that. And I appreciate. I'm gonna just say it. I appreciate my mom for respecting me and respecting my age and respecting. I had to break it down for her in the Bible too. I had to have that conversation of just like, hey, mom, some people are Peters. That's really how I had to say it. And she was like, okay, Jasmine, that's how you feel like you have to do it. Please be wise out there. I'm praying for your safety. And we had to come to that moment.
Yeah, me same.
But I told my mama straight up, I said, Mom, I'm going to ask that you do your part as well, because I know you're a prayer warrior. And so I'm going to need y'all to bring that up because I want you to be a part of this too.
I need you on your face praying for us.
Come on.
Listen, everybody, that goes back to everybody has a role. But I had to have that difficult conversation too. Like no one censors themselves around me. So why do I have to censor myself around everybody else? I'm a Black woman at the end of the day. God put breath in this Black body. And if I stay silent, who am I helping? Think about Malcolm X, think about Martin Luther King. If they stay silent, we would not be where we are today.
Worse off. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how big of a platform I have. My voice matters.
And I'm not bringing in a Black child in this world without putting in effort to make it different for my children.
Effort. Yeah.
My best effort for my children.
But that's what it is. Like I feel like we're setting it up for the generation that's gonna come. And it's just like if we don't do it, who gonna do it? Like we're getting another generation coming into this broken system, being born into this broken system. And that's why I'm like, no, that's why I'm going hard, because no, we're not gonna like something gotta change. Like something at least gotta change. Like
my friend said this and it was so good. She was just like, I'm doing this for the Black husband I ain't meet yet. I said, period. You better do it for the Black husband. He better be alive when you meet him. Period.
How else we gonna meet him?
What?
I said, how else we gonna meet him?
But think about it too. Last thing I'm gonna point out is that think about like Jesse Jackson being at the funeral of George Floyd. This man was out here walking with MLK, and we still doing the same. Like, and he's still at protests. He's still preaching that it's still the same thing. And it's just mind blowing. Think about this. Like the fact that Jesse Jackson's still alive, that goes to show this is the same man that walked with MLK, and that's how long it's been. Not that long. If the man is still alive, people like him who walk with MLK, they're still alive. That means we have so much far to go. These men should, at their old age, still doing the same.
Chilling.
They should be chilling on a vacation.
And that's the thing. And that shows again how we literally settle. And I feel like it hurts, but I feel like a lot of Black people believe that this is how it's going to be. Yeah, this is just how it is. You know what I mean? And they just settle that this is what it is. Like, okay, Corey, that's a broken system. Like, it's there. Like, we just settle. Like, this is just, it is what it is. Like, we just got to work harder. And we just got to be more careful. We just got to be compliant. Like, it is like, no, that's not freedom. Come on now. That ain't freedom. Like, it don't make sense why we in this land, that the land of the free, but we're not even free. That don't make no sense. Like, and we're just a generation that I believe that, yes, they might say that we're rebellious or whatever the case is.
I was just going to say that.
Right? They call us the rebellious ones. They call us the ones that they can't tame.
We don't work for nothing.
Right. All of it. We over here seeking a relationship with Jesus Christ. Like, we over here, like, we're like, no, enough is enough. We're the generation where it's like, enough is enough. Okay, y'all probably have questions in y'all last generation. We're the ones that we're not just gonna ask questions and just get any type of answer that y'all give it. No, we want the true answers, and whatever it is, we're rooting out stuff. We're breaking generational curses. We're rooting out the roots. Like, we're not gonna talk about the symptoms. Right. Like, and I feel like that's the generation that we are, and we just gotta accept it. I guess it's a responsibility on us. Period. Dang, why we gotta go all of this? But it is what it is. Like, obviously, we're here for such a time as this, and God definitely, He's put mantles. You know what I mean? That in our generation, and we just have to accept it. We have to see it, and we just gotta move with it.
Right. And I was gonna say, I think even this will hopefully make people respect us more. To see, like, we're not just one-sided. Like, we care. We know what we're doing. We're trying to do it the best way we know how.
And we're acting.
And if you think about these people who were changing the world, like Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, they were our age when all of that started. They weren't old. So it's like, I'm thinking now maybe we are picking up that torch from them, because I don't really know of anybody between them and us who has, if we're being honest, like our parents' age. I don't know anybody. So it's like, maybe it's our turn. And maybe that's why we are so bold and we are so free and we don't care. Like, we'll do whatever we want to do.
The Pharaoh thought that his slaves were rebellious too. That's all I'm gonna say. They can call us whatever they want to call us. The slave masters thought that their slaves were rebellious too. At the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah. And they gonna learn, and then they're gonna be like, "Wow, that generation right there."
Oh, we gonna be in history books.
Oh. Right.
2020 alone is been a wild ride.
Yeah, because I definitely
a long emotional roller coaster.
For sure. Yeah. But I literally thank God for technology and the power of social media right now, because this is something that just, in the last 10 years, this has been going on for years and years and years, from since MLK was around. Before then, like, it's been going on for a long time. It's just the fact that now we have social media, we have technology that where we can record and post these things, that it's surfacing, and we're just seeing all these things, all these injustices, like, that we have the proof, in a sense, the evidence. But it's been going on. It's just now we have social media to be like, what? Okay, let's all sign this petition, or let's all, in Alabama, or this happened in Washington D.C., or whatever the case is. Now we have, like, connections to see what's happening in these different places. And it's not just or not just your little state that's experiencing it. It's a whole worldwide thing, and we're seeing that, and we're like, man, So I definitely thank God for we're the generation that has social media and have technology that is a platform that we can highlight these injustices and ask for change.
People keep saying, like, it's not a coincidence that everybody's on social media right now and then this movement started. Like, it's not a coincidence that everybody's home still and then this movement started. Like, everybody's
needed to see it. Yeah.
Everybody's seeing it, man. No, you can't get away from it.
And then, I thought it was so funny. I'm sorry. Did y'all see on Twitter where is it K-pop? They hashtag White Lives Matter, and it was all stuff like, it was White Lives Matter, and literally it was all stuff highlighting like what was going on with BLM, and also like videos of them dancing and stuff. It was really big on Twitter a few days ago. It was hilarious. Like,
I ain't see it.
They were hashtagging White Lives Matter on everything, and it was trending. And like, I clicked on it thinking it was going to be like, oh God, more racist, and it was the exact opposite. Yeah, it was like K-pop. They're like a pop group. It was so funny. Like,
wait, Wait, I'm not understanding. What was the video?
So I guess it
No.
was like there was like people that do K-pop and like Korean pop. They started to hashtag White Lives Matter, and when you click on White Lives Matter, you were educated instead about Black Lives
It
Matter.
wasn't racism. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's smart. That's smart.
It was
For
cool.
real.
Yeah.
That's smart. And like the MAGA hashtags and all of that, like that's
Oh,
smart.
yeah.
That's smart. Oh, y'all want to try to be racist? Y'all was trying to see the racist
Watch
tweets. Well,
this.
for real, like y'all thought, nope, we got you. I guess we can go for a little 5 more minutes. But also, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, how we're canceling everybody and all these people that are coming out with the racist stuff and they get into their jobs and sending emails and you want to be racist?
Canceled.
Cancel you, and we're gonna go to your job, honey. Not just cancel you on social media, but go to your job. You'll be canceled from your job.
I absolutely love it. I think it's amazing, like y'all said, the power of social media. Like,
Yeah.
And then I think it's so funny. Like after all of it happens, it's like, I'm so sorry. I want to be educated. I want to learn.
Yeah. Because it hurt you in your pocket, honey. Because now you ain't got no job.
You ain't got no job. You ain't going to college.
You about to lose your job.
Hey.
You about to lose your job. Hey, because you are pretending to be for you about to lose your job.
Period.
Why?
No. All these little girls on TikTok want to act reckless. All right, bet. You ain't going to college. You ain't graduating. You ain't doing nothing. Okay. Keep playing if you want to.
Right. Not for real. So I'm just like, look, we are not playing. Play with us if you want
We're forced to be reckoned with.
Hey,
and I saw this post. It was saying, it was this lady. She was like, you should be very happy that Black people are not trying to get revenge. We just want equality. Because it's like, listen, it could be a war out here. It really could. But you know, we don't want that. We're just trying to be equal. We want a level playing field.
Right.
And I think that's why people are afraid. Like, I think that people think that our lives mattering means that they don't matter anymore, or that they don't have a place in this society. And that's not at all the case.
I don't think that that's what they think. Like, we're the minorities at the end of the day. How is that gonna work? Yes, there might be a fear of our minds, and if we really understood who we are, and we really like grasped that and started living in that for real. And if the system wasn't broken and we was on the same level playing, we'll be in fear for real. Like, let's be honest. And I think that's why the fear, and that's why this is broken, and trying to keep it that way, and just keep bringing in these generations. Like, yeah, they have freedom amendment, blah blah blah. Nah, but I don't think it's a matter of they just try to be I feel like it's being spiteful. All lives matter. Like, come on.
I think they're really scared though.
I think ignorance is bliss as well.
If us to be on the same level playing, like,
we surpass them. A lot of us.
We're what?
I feel like a lot of if like you said, if we as Black people realize our strength, I think a lot of us would surpass them, and that can be scary.
Oh yeah.
I try to understand them from that point as much as I can. But you know, like that's the most I can understand of it. But that's me trying to be empathetic.
Because then trying to still keep us in this system that y'all right here, and we got to start all the way over here. Nah, because if we was right here, that's true though, and I can see why they would be scared. And that's something for us to be like, if we was really on the same level playing for real, like, would you be in that position that you are, or would I be? Because let's be honest, you know. But I don't know, they be trying to Black Lives Matter, and they come back with their hashtag All Lives Matter on some like, come on now, like, you know your life matter. Like, let's not. Come on. You know your life matter.
Like I said, I definitely feel like ignorance is bliss for a lot of people, and so it's kind of just like, hey, the uncomfortable, y'all gonna have to get used to this uncomfortable for a little bit so that we can create a new norm. That's what's gonna have to be it, because we can't be ignorant no more.
You ain't got no choice.
You ain't got no choice.
And everybody, that's everybody. It's not even a certain group. That's everybody.
Yeah,
And
everybody.
again, our battle is not even with flesh and blood. It's the spirit again. It's like, you know, spiritual things, spiritual high places, the enemy, and all of that. Keon says exactly. He said you about to lose your job.
Hey.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. I say, give sis her Grammy, please.
Right.
Give her her Grammy.
Yeah.
So play with it if you want to. All right, we gonna close for real because went for hour 30 minutes. Create a new norm. Yes, Julie. We gotta create a new norm. I don't want to hear. I just want things to go back to normal. I don't want to hear that. It's offensive in
It'll
my
never
ears.
be back.
Right. It's not going back to normal.
Period.
It's not going back to normal. That's offensive in my ear now when people say, I want things to go back to normal. No. No, I'm not doing that.
And also life before COVID, I'm switching off of that for a little bit. Life before COVID wasn't all that too, because people are like, I just wish it was before COVID. Nah. I need a new future. I need a brighter and better future. That's what I want. I don't want it to be before COVID. I want it to be new and great and beautiful.
Amen.
Agreed. All right. Y'all done? Y'all got everything off y'all chest?
I'm good. This one was a lot lighter than last week.
Because last week it was right in the middle of it. We were just like,
woo! We were just mad.
Right.
But all right, who's gonna close this out? We're gonna leave y'all. We went over 30 minutes, so y'all got a little extra. Since y'all will be back in 2 weeks.
I'll pray.
Oh. Go ahead, Lafayette.
All right, Lord, thank you today just for allowing us to have this conversation, God. I thank you, God, for giving us the energy and the strength to do it. Father, I pray that someone on this live either learned something or, they were enlightened about something. I thank you, God, just for every listener, every person who tuned in. I pray that you would bless them and keep them during this season, God. And I just pray that you would give each and every one of us the strength to make a difference, however we know how to, God. Give us a spirit to just do it, God. I just thank you again for this day. I pray that you would bless Samantha, each and every person who participated in this conversation, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Praise God.
Monica says, true believers knew this revolution was coming. God has been preparing us for some time now.
Period.
Come on. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some mantles that have been dropped in this generation. People that are rising. We were even talking about that with the whole COVID thing, and we're just like, how people are, have to be at home, and I feel like God is just preparing them. And
it's a revival. We wasn't expecting it this way.
Yeah. And for such a time as this, who would have known we was gonna be in this? You know what I mean?
Right. Do you want a revolution? Whoop whoop.
For real. We can't be sleeping no more. We gotta be woke on all levels for sure.
Period.
Ain't no time to sleep. Well, sleep for your mental health for real, but don't be sleeping. I don't know what's going on.
Period, Keon.
What's going on? But thank you guys.
Thank you guys
for tuning in. We were just checking in. Went a little bit over just for the sake of making sure everybody we got with our chest and hear from you guys, and you guys got to be a part of the conversation and give your input. We'll be back on the third Saturday, so not next Saturday, but the following Saturday for our bi-weekly or first and third Saturday chat. So we love y'all and God bless
love y'all.
See you.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye.
Be safe. Be protected in Jesus' name. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.